How y'all doing? It's Judge Lynn. The other day I said something about the Paris story that I said, the big woohoo moment in Paris. So somebody asked me, well, what happened in Paris? So I'll tell you. I got invited to Paris to speak at Femme d'Influence. It's a bunch of young women, and they watched Divorce Court apparently, or Marriage Boot Camp, or whatever. So they were gonna fly me over there with my husband, pay me to do a speech, and I was gonna stay there for a week, right off the Champs Elysees. I mean, I'm talking about if this was not a plum assignment, I don't know what. So we did. We got there, flew us business class across. It was just wunderbar, wonderful. And then, so when we got there, I only wanted to speak French because I like speaking French. I'm trying to learn to speak French. I am not fluent no matter. I've been doing it for years, still not fluent because I just can't stick with nothing. But anyway, I was close enough that I just want to have conversations, everything in French. I just want to speak in French. And so they took us out to this gorgeous restaurant. And my husband was there, and I said, ladies, I just want to speak French. And there were like 5 of us women, and they were all young and pretty. I was older and okay looking. They were young and pretty. And one of them, she says, well, what about your husband? And he says, I don't mind at all. He was happier than a pig in slop. He's in Paris at a good meal, surrounded by women he's not required to engage in conversation with. And like when I used to go into his office, he would have Divorce Court on, but the sound would be off. He likes looking for at me, but he could use a few less words. So he was just fine. So we were talking, and they had this chick there that was supposed to be my translator. So I wrote, typically I don't read my speeches. What I do is I just get up there and I have my bullet points. And so I never know quite where I'm going to go until I get there. So I wrote her a long, I'll tell you what I did before that. I had a French teacher come. And I went through this, everything I might say, and I wanted to take out all the English idioms, like, you know, uh, a pool of subjects, you know what I mean? That doesn't necessarily translate into French. So I did all that. She helped me with all that kind of stuff. But then I gave the written stuff to the woman who was going to be my translator. And I said, this is everything that I might say. And she was fluent in both English and French. She says, I really don't need this. But I said, just to give you advance notice of how I roll and what kind of things I say. Okay? And she said, okay. Okay. So I get there the day, they have somebody do my makeup. It was really a lot of fun. My husband did not go. He never goes to any of my speeches. He never went to Marriage Boot Camp. He never went to Divorce Court. I don't know why. I think it was the same reason I could never watch my son pitch. I just couldn't do it because it's just too stressful. But anyway, so he stayed at the hotel and I went. And what happened was, and I might add this to this if I can find it because it was really kind of spectacular. They were walking me to the door. And, I was going to walk in and do my speech like I always do. And the chick said, before she opened the door, she had one person on one door, one on another, said, are you ready? I'm like, well, what is she talking about? They opened that door. You thought Mick Jagger was there. They had fireworks going off. People stood. I never had any lights. And I was like, whoo-wee. And my translator was right behind me. And yeah, I know my shirt. No, this isn't dirt. I'm sorry. I thought it was dirt. It's just the shirt thing. I'm not as bad as I thought. And so it was like, and it was like, oh my God. So I get up stage and everything, and I said a few things in French, a little greeting, all that, and I waved and we talked. And so then I was ready to start my speech, and I said something, and she translated it. Then I said something else, she translated, and didn't nobody laugh. And the second thing I said was funny. So I thought, I wonder what's happening here. So I said something else, and then I paid attention to what she was translating. Girlfriend was not close. I mean, I know enough French not to be able to pull it up, da, 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 but I know it. So I was like, huh. So I looked down, I stepped back, my heel of my high heel sunk in between. There was a little bitty strip in the stage, and my foot, where two planks met, my foot went down my heel of the shoes that I had no business wearing because my feet cramp up, went down in the thing. And as I did that, I was looking, I went like that, and I looked over. My translator had poof, popped away, fled the scene. She was gone. I didn't even see her smoke. She was just gone. She put her mic down and walked off. So here I am with my heels stuck in the thing. My translator's gone, and I'm not quite sure what to do. So I put my head down. I brought up every piece of French I could find, and I just kept going. And I talked, and I made them laugh a couple of times, and once you make them laugh, it's cool. And I was about 10 minutes in, and I was really I was looking for a new translator. And I saw a commotion upstairs because they were like, oh crap, she's out there by herself trying to navigate a foreign language that she's only, 60% cool in. So after a while, I ran out of things to say, so I said, let me ask you some questions. I could say that in French. And I asked them some questions. We were doing a back and forth with the audience. And then like an angel from heaven, this young chick, she just came. She came down. She picked up the mic and she says, I have you. And she had never translated from anybody before, but she said, and I spoke slowly, and then we got into a rhythm, and finally finished. We got a standing ovation. I hugged her so hard, and I said, had you ever translated before? She said, no, I just concentrated on your lips. That's all I did. I just watched your lips, and I didn't think about what you were saying. I just watched your lips, and and I said, you did a great job. I was so stressed out. My husband took me to dinner afterwards, and we went to this restaurant on the Champs-Elysees that we really liked. I can't remember. It was next to a Five Guys, which is weird, and we liked it. And so we were upstairs, and I had 2 scotches, and I have never been so relieved. I felt good. I mean, I could have panicked. I could have ran off. Girlfriend bolted. I looked up and I'm alone, and I'm stuck. And now I have to speak a foreign language and entertain people. I was stressed. But then, the bigger the oops, the happier the recovery. You know what I mean? It's like I will always tell people, I got my mother's rules, my book got rejected 57 times before I got it edited. And once I got it published, it was that much more tasty because there is no meal so tasty as one seasoned by hunger. So anyway, that's my Ow! You bit me! That's my Paris story. I might have to go handle these pooches. See y'all.